It would be quite interesting.
And he's been training here, he says, for a couple of years. Actually plans on making his way up to the Iron Tiger fight team here in the near future. And interesting thing about him is he wrestled in high school. He says he's been wrestling for about 10 years, and he has 5 brothers.
Wow.
All of them are Division I wrestlers. So a little bit of an awesome wrestling pedigree here from David Lewis as he makes his way into the cage here for his amateur debut.
Now, did David allude to the fact that he was a Division I wrestler or no?
He was not.
He was not. Okay.
Here we go, Dave. Here we go, Dave.
And his opponent coming to the cage with 1 win, 0 losses, undefeated, is Sean Foster.
Focus, David.
And Sean was another guy I had a chance to talk to earlier, and he was a really interesting character as a police officer at Columbus State and trains out of Columbus MMA as a grappler with a judo and Brazilian jiu-jitsu background. Competed at grappling competitions like Naga, everything like that. And I asked him, I said, "You're a grappler. How's that mean you feel about stand-up?" He said, "I'm terrified."
Really? I honestly can't believe he admitted that.
I like the honesty. He told me not to make fun of his shorts, which means I'm going to make fun of his dinosaur Valet Tudo shorts here.
It's quite interesting you said he's afraid to stand up because he came out with the Muay Thai armbands on his around his biceps.
That must be all for show.
Unless he was lying to you earlier, and he's quite the stand-up artist. I guess we'll find out either way here in just a few seconds.
A couple other people told me he was afraid of striking too, so I tend to believe them. Nevertheless, the fight always stands on the feet. That's where Sean Foster will be as he looks to move it up to 2-0. Taking on David Lewis here in this amateur welterweight bout at IT Fight Series 33.
Here we go, Dave. Here we go.
And Todd Augusta is going to be our referee in this one. David Lewis in the light blue shorts, Sean Foster in the dark blue Valet Tudos with dinosaurs on them. You can't miss those from across the
Go, David.
Stars Indoor Sports Complex here.
Quick.
Lewis to southpaw.
There it is. There's that kick. We knew it was coming, Dave.
As Foster lands a little knee on the inside there, and the overhand right that misses, but lands another knee.
Uppercut, David. Uppercut.
Some wild
uppercut.
striking here from David Lewis. Another knee here from Sean Foster
That's fine.
as they tie up here in the first round. Foster really landing those knees on the inside and that
Knees
tie
to the
clinch.
stomach, David.
And another knee lands,
Stand up with it,
uppercut from
stand up,
Foster.
circle.
Foster with a head movement.
Tag and circle.
And for a guy who said he's afraid of striking, his striking has looked pretty decent so far at
Tag
least.
and circle, David. Tag and circle.
Head movement here.
Read his body.
And Lewis doing the worst thing you could possibly do in a fight and crossing his feet. Right hand.
Nice.
Foster lands and follows it up with a left hand. And I thought he was going to take this fight to the ground here early, but I think he did lie to me about the striking.
I think he did because he's looking phenomenal on the stand-up, getting some beautiful right hooks in.
Keep them feet moving.
And that right hand, overhand right landed clean. This head move. Outside leg kick.
He has some nice combinations.
off.
Setting up with the jabs. I have a feeling he's going to connect with that right hook and drop.
And I
David.
always say, Juan, in amateur MMA, if you can throw a 3-punch combination, you'll go 4-0 your first four fights.
Absolutely. I couldn't agree more with you on that one.
Another tie clinch here. Foster really throwing those knees, and Lewis clearly doesn't like them. Another right hand from Foster. Foster with his hands high and Lewis with his hands low. Lewis with the outside leg kick that lands.
Combos, David. Combos.
You know, if I
Foster
didn't know
check
the
that.
records of the two, I would say Foster is already a
Another
4-0
right-hand
fighter,
lands.
5-0 fighter.
Keep your hands up, David.
a little bit of showboating there, just stepping back and not even blocking those punches.
Yeah, I like the fact that Foster's covering
Ooh,
up.
that right hand from Lewis landed, but he's ducking his head, and that's the recipe for an uppercut that's going to put him to sleep.
This guy looks like a standing guillotine in. I don't know if it's in deep. Can't see from our angle.
And it's hard to finish a guy that's that tall with a standing guillotine, especially, you know, giving up 4 or 5 inches that Sean Foster is.
Lewis tried to roll out of it, but wasn't too successful.
And Foster with the Kimura sweep there. High-level jiu-jitsu stuff here. And he might finish this. Kimura is
Less than
deep.
10 seconds to go. It is in deep. We'll be able to get it.
And Lewis does a fantastic job there of surviving that first round of 1. I know they never happen. They never give them out, but that was a 10-8 round.
Oh, absolutely.
That was complete domination here for the first 3 minutes of this amateur welterweight fight. And Sean Foster is a fighter.
Absolutely. I cannot believe what I'm seeing with my own eyes. He is definitely going to go far in this sport.
And something interesting from Sean Foster that I asked him is, you know, he said he was afraid of the striking. And so I said, what are you doing about that? And he said, for every hour of grappling, I do 2 hours of striking. And that's what this sport really is about, is making your weaknesses your strengths and your strengths even stronger. And that's what Sean Foster's doing here, and showing us fantastic head movement in this fight and landing a lot of nice shots.
Absolutely he is. Now, coming into the second round, you know, you're down presumably at 10-8. What do you do if you're David Lewis?
Well, I think he has to definitely go for broke here in the second round. I mean, he's getting absolutely blasted with shots. Sean Foster was doing a great job of, you know, really keeping him on his heels here. And I think that he has to pretty much just go for broke. Which is, I mean, he did that a lot in the first round. He landed a couple of shots, but he took a lot of punishment and definitely not enough to win the round. And like I said, it was probably a 10-8 round there.
Here we go. Let's see what happens in the second round of our second fight between David Lewis and Sean Foster. Sean Foster, again, is in the Dino Valley Tudo shorts.
And again, you can see the head movement of that you normally only see in veteran fighters.
Get mad, David.
And you see Lewis went for that double leg as soon as Foster threw that fake right hand. And
Foster was able to circle around, get the back of David Lewis.
Throw a couple punches here. Got the right hook in.
You know
which
who
you can't see on the broadcast, but he has in now the left hook in.
Sean Foster reminds me of a young version of B.J. Ferguson, who was on The Ultimate Fighter back in the day.
A little bit. I mean, he has definitely a well-versed background. As you see him now looking for this rear naked choke, and probably should have went forward with it, but he's going backwards, and he may have it now. He has the grapevine
he's
tap,
tapping,
and that's going to do it here. Sean Foster moves up to 2-0 with the rear naked choke win, but the story of the fight was the striking there.
Yes,
from Sean Foster.
Yes.
Great performance here from this amateur welterweight, moving up to 2-0.
What a great show of sportsmanship there from Sean Foster, who was battling afterwards. You know, I like that out of fighters, to show the respect of the fighters, the sport, and of course to the crowd here at the Stars Sports Indoors Complex. Now we send it up to Rick Toms for the official announcement